Okay. Yeah. Not only failure, whether it is a successful or failure, whatever it is, the activities means suppose if you want to load the data from flat file to InfoCube, what we have to do? If you want to load the data from flat file to InfoCube, we have the complete pipeline ready. Okay. Now I want to just load the data. So what should I do? Okay. Direct DTP load చేస్తే డేటా ఫ్లాట్ ఫైల్ నుండి క్యూబ్కి వచ్చేస్తుందా? Yes. Info package run cheyala. You have to run info package and then you have to run DTP both, right? So in the real-time environment, you will be loading the data for hundreds of info cubes and the DSOs. So are you going to load, okay, first info cube for this in data target, run info cube, the info package and then DTP, for another info cube again, info package and DTP. Like that, we will be not doing it manually. We'll be not doing it manually. So what we do is we will automate the process. The process of data loading, okay, the process of data loading can be automated. That automation is known as process chain. The automation component is known as process chain. Okay. So T code for process chain is RSPC. RSPC. Okay, fine. Suppose I have a scenario like this. I have a scenario like this. I have a source system, data source in source system, and then PSA in BW, and then I want to load the data to the DSO. I want to load the data to the DSO. So what do we need? We need a transformation in between. We need a transformation in between. Okay, fine. Next part, we need to have the info package. We need to run info package first. First we need to have info package and then we need to have DTP. We need to have DTP. Okay. Info package, DTP. Okay, fine. Now I want to automate this process. So what do we do now? So first, always it will be a start process ఉంటుంది. And each and every component is known as process type. Start process. In this start process, what you will have? Date and time. Date and time. At what date, what time, the process chain has to start. So generally, what do we do is in real-time environment, every day morning by 9 o'clock. Every day by morning 9 o'clock means generally we consider that as your office start time. Your office start time. Your all the managers and the CEOs heads will be coming to the office and they start working 9 o'clock. Assume that. So what we do is every day by 9 o'clock we should make sure that the data is loaded to your BW system from your source systems. The data is loaded to the BW system from all our source systems. Okay, fine. So what do we do generally? In the evening after 7 o'clock, because after 7 o'clock the transaction postings will be very less. In ECC, everybody will be gone home, right? So very less transactions will be happening. So at that time we'll start data loading. So at that time we'll start data loading. Okay, so evening from starting at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, whatever it is, from that time, next day morning by 7 o'clock, we make sure that everything is loaded successfully and the data is available for reporting. That is should be our task when you are working in the support project. Okay, so in this start process type, we maintain, okay, at what time, what date, whether it is a daily, weekly, hourly, or how you want to load the data, that all things are maintained in the start process chain, start process type. Okay, then next, what, how we are loading the data? We need info package. So we need info package. Okay, fine. And then once you load the info package, the data will be there in the PSA. From PSA, the data should load to the DSO. From InfoCube, from PSA, the data should load to the DSO. Okay, so load data. This is this one, info package, and this is my DTP. Once the data is loaded, where the data will be there? The data is there in the DSO. Okay, so what should we do? Okay, once we run the DTP and the data is loaded to the DSO, is the data is available for reporting? Will be the data available for reporting?
No, sir, we have to activate the data.
Right, we need to activate the data because initially the data will be in the new data table, right? So that activation of the data is a one process, manual process. So we will automate this process. So activate data in DSO. Okay, fine. This is our process chain in order to load the data to the InfoCube. This is my process chain in order to load the data to the InfoCube. Okay, and whenever you are making a link, these two are two different. You should make a link. Between. First, it should start, and then it should run first DTP, then info package, then it should run your DTP. Once the DTP is loaded, then it should activate your data. When you are making the link between the process types, when you try to link, you'll get three options. Successful, error, always. You get three options. Which option you have to select? Okay, unless until your data is loaded to the PSA, the DTP should not run. Unless until your data is loaded to the PSA, your DTP should not run. That means it should be always your successful. Once your DTP is successful, then only it should activate your data. Then it should always activate your data. Okay, here also it should be the successful. I'll tell you in which case we use always an error. Okay, fine. So this is my process chain for this data flow. This is my data flow one. For this process chain, this is my data flow. Suppose instead of cube, I'm loading the data to the DSO. I'm loading the data to the InfoCube. Okay. Instead of DSO, I'm loading the data to the InfoCube. Okay. Then what should be my process chain? First, it should be always it will be start. Then your DTP. Okay, fine. From here, info package. Then you are loading the data to the InfoCube. What are the performance activities we can perform on the InfoCube?
We can aggregate, sir. We can compress.
Okay.
We can do partitions.
Okay, and What else? The first point, indexes,
Index.
right? Indexes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So whenever you're loading the data to the info cube, okay, fine. So what we say, once you load the data, we create the indexes, and again, before loading the data, we delete the indexes, right? Why do we
Yes,
delete the
sir.
indexes? Because if we have the indexes, the data loading will be slower. In order to make the data loading faster, delete the indexes, load the data, and again we create the indexes because we want the reporting performance good. Okay, so fine. So now we have start and then info package. Once I run the info package, the data is there in your PSA, and then we need to delete the indexes. We need to delete the indexes. Delete indexes, and then your DTP. Then your DTP. Once your DTP is ready, then what? Create indexes. Create indexes. Once you have the indexes ready, then we can create the aggregates. We can create the aggregates. Once you have the aggregates, okay, once you have the aggregates, data will not be available for reporting directly. The data will not be available for reporting directly. What we have to do?
Roll up.
Roll up.
Yes, we need to perform roll up. Good. Roll up. So this is my process chain in order to load the data to the info queue. This is my process chain in order to, again, whenever you are making a link, again you'll get three options. We use successful always. Are you clear with this?
Yes, sir. Is this the standard procedure what we have to follow, sir, for everything?
Yes, this is
I
the
mean,
standard. This is how you have to do it. Based on your data loading, you have to follow this.
for everything aggregates we have
Okay.
to create and
Tell me one thing. Yeah. Tell me one thing. Can I keep this in front and info package later?
no, sir.
Why?
Data was not there. How we can run the data?
Right. Unless until you don't have the data in the PSA, how can we load the data to the DSO or data target with the DTP? It's not possible, right?
Yes,
So it should be your
yes, sir.
sequence.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now I'll give you one more scenario. Okay. From here, I'm loading the data to the info queue. Is it possible or not? Is this
Possible, sir.
business case possible? Possible. Now tell me
Yes, sir.
what should be my process chain? What should be my process chain? First, always it's a start,
Start.
and then
Info package.
info package, then
DTP, sir.
DTP, then
Activate DSO.
right, activate DSO, then
Delete the indexes.
Huh? Yeah, you're right.
Delete the indexes.
Delete indexes.
But indexes we can maintain in DSO also, na, sir?
No. Indexes are not possible.
Only for info cube, na, sir?
Only on InfoCube. Delete indexes, then DTP, then create indexes. Then
Aggregate.
Then
Roll up, sir.
roll up. And last one compression kuda cheyochu. Okay.
Okay, sir.
I can also do the compression. Okay, clear?
Yes, sir.
This is one business case. Fine. I'll give you another scenario now. Okay, fine. So ఇదే case from DSO to another DSO. DSO1 to DSO2. If this is my business case, then right? Do you agree with me? First start, info package, DDP, and activate the DSO1.
Okay.
Next what?
Activate DSO2, sir. No, again DTP, then activate DSO2.
Right, it is DTP1. DTP2. DSO2. So this should be your this one. Okay. Now assume that this is my business case. Okay. So this is my next business case. I have two different data sources, which is loading the data to DSO1, DSO2. From there, I am loading the data to the DSO3 from the two data sources, and from the DSO, I am that is detail level data. అక్కడ నుండి aggregated data నేను క్యూబ్ లో లోడ్ చేస్తున్నాను. Example, I can give you this example. ఇది వచ్చేసి నాకు సేల్స్ ఆర్డర్ హెడర్, సేల్స్ ఆర్డర్ ఐటమ్ డేటా లోడ్ అవుతుంది. ఇక్కడేమో కన్సాలిడేటెడ్ sales data, and this is my aggregated sales data. Okay, do you agree with me this case? Just try
Yes,
to
sir.
analyze. Okay,